Venus in Sagittarius may always have this nagging feeling that deep down, no matter where they are in life, they feel like they're just visiting. Welcome all my Venus and Sagittarius friends. Y'all are the lovers of freedom of the zodiac. So stay tuned as we go over what it's like to have your Venus and Sagittarius in your natal birth chart, as well as what it's like to date someone with a Sagittarius Venus. So if you are new to astrology, then have no fear. Just head on over to astro.com, click on charts and then extended charts. Type in your birth information, and then a nice little birth chart will appear. The Venus symbol in the natal charts looks like this. So if you already have your birth chart and you know that you are a Sagittarius Venus, then show some love for your Venus sign by hitting that like button. Right now, we are having a competition to see which Venus sign can get more likes out of all the Venus signs. Now, Tauruses beat out the Aries, Geminis beat out the Cancers last week, Virgos beat out the Leos. So will the Saggies beat out the Capricorns? We shall see. So let's get into this. What exactly is Venus? Well, Venus is the planet of love and romance, money, beauty, art, and harmony. It is the planet of pleasure. Venus can tell you what you are attracted to. So what happens when you have the planet of love mixed with the beautiful energy of Sagittarius? Well, you get my little playful lovers of the zodiac. Natives with their Venus in Sagittarius may feel like life is one big adventure, and we don't make it out of here alive, so we might as well have fun while we're here. Their motto would be, I ain't here for the long time, I'm here for the good time. A Venus in Sag is going to be naturally optimistic about life as long as there's no hard aspects to this Venus. And it's not that this sign can't get down or be sad about things. I mean, they can be, but they usually don't linger in it forever. I mean, they aren't the ones that are crying years after the breakup, just still holding on that you may come back. I mean, they take their time to grieve, but life was made to have lots of adventures and to have lots of fun, and you're supposed to meet lots of people and experience a lot of cultures. I mean, you're supposed to try new things. So yes, they may have those fleeting moments where they grieve you, but Venus and Sagittarius are here to explore and learn and expand in their love in this life. These natives can be the ones that believe that things just get better and better in life, like especially with time. So after a breakup, they can grieve, but they can kind of self-soothe themselves and tell themselves, hey, I learned my lesson in this relationship, and this relationship taught me a lot of things that, I wouldn't have learned unless I went through this, but there is someone out there that is better for me and that will be more compatible with me, that the person that I am currently. A Venus and Sag is going to need a partner who evolves over time. They do not care to be with someone who is routine and super structured. A Venus and Sag adapts quite well with change. So they like things to change and evolve. You would kill a Sag if you force them to stop growing and learning. I mean, their ruling planet is Jupiter, and that planet is represented by expansion and growing and evolving. It's an absolute must for Venus and Sagittarius. And whether they are aware of it or not, they use experiences and relationships as a way to learn about things about themselves. Venus and Sagittariuses are really not that complicated, but you have to be a partner that lets them have their freedom and lets them make their own choices and allows them to have choices. A Venus and Sagittarius cannot feel trapped or boxed in. I mean, they will literally flee if they start to feel suffocated. A Venus in Sag needs space in a relationship to explore and to contemplate their thoughts. You know, they need alone time. They need time to learn new things. And like, sometimes their focus can shift off their partner. You know, I always laugh with my bestie who has her Venus in Sag. We have so many squirrel moments. Okay, so what I mean by that is we will be having a conversation and then all of a sudden something will catch her eye or an idea will pop into her mind and we'll switch topics. And she also has her Mercury in Sag, so this could have something to do with it. But she loves learning new things and her mind is just full of these memories that are connected to a lot of different things in life. So when she gets caught up in it and excited about learning something new or planning some new trip, her focus can shift from her partner to this new exciting thing. And even as me as a friend, I mean, she can seem to get kind of distant. But I have a lot of Sag in my chart, so I totally understand what's going on. I mean, she's not really getting distant, I would say. She just found something new and exciting in the moment. But a Venus in Sag is going to need a partner who is laid back and understanding. A Venus in Sag is going to need space and freedom in a relationship. And this goes for jobs too. A Venus in Sag, you know, they are going to need a job where they are not micromanaged. They need space and freedom in a job as well. Okay, y'all, so let me just fill you in on the story. So me and my bestie, we worked in a call center a long time ago. We worked there a little bit like while, you know, we were going through college and while we were younger. Well, you know, like in a call center, they can track everything. They know who you're on the phone with. They know how long you're on the phone. If you've transferred the call, who you've transferred the call to. They can tell how many calls you take an hour. They can tell when you've logged off your phones. They can tell when you're on break. I mean, just typical things that you would find from a call center these days. Well, you know, there are rules, of course, because the company had quotas. They wanted you to answer as many phone calls as you could. So if you were on a phone call for too long, they would come over and ask, you know, what's going on? Like, how can you wrap it up? Do you need help? If you were 2 to 3 minutes late from like logging back in from break, they sent people to go find you to see what was up. So my little Venus and Sag friend, she couldn't stand this. And it's not that she did anything wrong, but it was just that constant micromanaging. It was just something that she could not handle. And here's the great thing about a Venus and Sag. More than likely, they can't really hide if they don't like something. Saggies are honest, I mean, to the core, and they're quite direct. So when they feel suffocated, they can be just like real direct and just want to break ties, you know, immediately, because it doesn't really matter to them like what your response is. They want out no matter what. So yeah, she didn't last too long there. I mean, she's actually had quite a lot of other jobs throughout life. I will say though, she has always worked for herself since then. I mean, you know, it's just always worked out the best for her. I will say a Venus in Sag would be a great teacher or a motivational speaker, someone who makes YouTube videos. They are going to do well in a career that has a great schedule. It's essential to them to do something that they care about. They have to be passionate about it, but they need some flexibility in that schedule. A Venus in Sag just isn't going to be able to fake things for very long. And they would rather have the freedom of a flexible schedule versus extra pay and no days off. The Venus in Saggies don't necessarily like material things. they are more into the experiences of life. So a Venus in Sag will want to be rich so that their bills are just like auto paid each month and they can go on unlimited adventures. They will want to become successful so that they gain the freedom to do what they want to do when they want to do it. They aren't the ones that, want to become successful because they want to outdo someone else or have better things with someone else, better than someone else, or compete with someone else. They want everyone to be successful. They don't care. The more, the merrier. A Venus in Sag just has this burning desire to try as many things as possible. They want to travel to different places. They may want to try new restaurants. I will say, if you're dating a Venus in Sagittarius, you may find yourself traveling way more than you used to, You may not have ever even done those things in your life. People just naturally take adventures with Sagittarius. A Venus in Sagittarius can kind of give off the vibe that they are exciting or optimistic or bold. A Venus in Sag can make others feel at ease when traveling. They can make it feel fun and exciting. I love traveling with my Venus and Sag people. Oh my gosh. Okay, the adventures that we are so into. But they make for the best stories. Like when you're around some campfire in a new country that you've never been around before, the most random things always happen with my Venus and Sag friends. Like their life literally cracks me up. And that's why these people can be quite magnetic, because it can feel quite good to be around them. When they are in their healthiest version of Venus and Sag, it can feel amazing. These are the people that when they are in their evolved state, they can really cheer you on to chase your dreams. Like no matter how crazy they may sound, they can be the biggest cheerleaders for others. They may also love partners that are older and wiser than them. They could want to be with a partner that can take them on a new path of learning. So they may get with someone who grew up with a different religious background or maybe lived in a different country. They just want to find a person that they can go through life exploring with, like figuring out the higher truths about things. This is the thing though. A Venus in Sagittarius can be alone if they need to be, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they like being alone. They want someone to share their adventures with. Here's a quirk to most people who have their Venus in Sag. They are hesitant to commit to things that are lifelong. So things like marriages or always staying at the same job their whole life or always living in the same house their whole life. I'm not saying they won't commit. There's plenty of Venus and Sagittariuses that do. But here's the thing. With a Venus in Sagittarius and just Sagittariuses in general, they never want to lose that capability to grow and expand and to learn. And they can understand that interacting with others can be their greatest teachers. So committing to something or someone that may cut off their ability to learn or grow or to expand can be really, really hard for a Saggy to do. They don't want to commit to any relationship that's going to restrict them. And a Venus in Sag can understand that life is just one big adventure, that we meet people along the way that teach us things or lessons. And, if they don't work out with that person, then a Venus in Sag can be optimistic about finding someone who will be just more compatible. They can feel like the universe just somehow has their back with things, and it's just not going to let them down. Their planet is Jupiter, and it's the planet of luck. So they can believe that breakups force them to grow, or they can be ready for a new experience with a new person if things have gotten stale. So it can just be hard for a Saggy to kind of agree to place all of that expansion in one person's hands. friends. They want to learn from a lot of people. So if a Venus in Sag is making a commitment, or if you are married to a Venus in Sag, then you should feel special, because they aren't the ones who just settle down for anyone. Saggies make the best lovers for people who understand their little Sagittarius ways. I mean, yeah, they may have some squirrel moments, and they may overly get excited about things. And sometimes they can seem selfish to others. But a Venus in Sagittarius love is like no other. Their love can be expansive. They can love big. Jupiter is the biggest planet in the solar system. And often their partners gain more wisdom about the world through experiences that they have with their Venus in Sag and the travels that they have with them. Also, a Venus in Sag isn't going to fall for your traditional person. They want somewhat of a rebel that has his or her own opinion on things. They don't want a partner that just blindly follows the crowd. A Venus in Sag can be quite confident at times. I mean, they aren't afraid to come up against authority figures if they feel like it's necessary. A Venus in Sag is going to want a partner that may have opinions that differ from the norm. Or maybe their partner is passionate about some social topic. A relationship with a Venus in Sag can be spontaneous. I mean, I think this is what makes them the most fun. You sometimes just never know what is going to happen when you go on an adventure with your little Venus in Saggy. They can be quite impulsive in life, so it's possible that they can have a temper. They remind me of a sparkler, okay? So they get mad for a moment, but it just kind of eventually fades out, and then they're over it. They're just ready for the next thing. And they are a fire sign, so they can have that fiery love, and that they can love fiercely. And these natives will love getting to know their partner. One thing that I noticed about my Venus and Saggies is they love a good story. This is why they get along with their fellow fire sign Leo so well. A Venus in Saggy will be full of stories of their adventures and their memories with their friends and their families, or at least they will want to be full of these stories. I mean, there's sometimes Mars aspects that hinder a Venus in Sag from achieving this, but they will always dream of achieving these adventures and these memories with people. So if a Venus in Sag is into you, they will be asking you questions, and they want to get to know you. And when you are telling your stories about your adventures, they can be quite focused. They want to know all about the person. They can be quite spiritual lovers and love people deeply. A lot of people think that Sagittariuses are light and free, and they just don't feel things. But this is untrue. These are the spiritual lovers of the zodiac. They love deep at these philosophical levels that a lot of people can't even comprehend. That's why the love you receive from a Venus in Sagittarius feels out of this world. It quite literally is out of this world. And they can have this strong presence when they go places. I mean, people know this person has a story to tell. One other thing I love about my Venus and Saggies is, for the most part, they don't mind to be trailblazers. They don't mind to be the one that's different in their family, or to go on a different path than what everyone thought they would do in life. This sign is not afraid to take risks in life. I mean, you only live once, right? My Venus and Sag friend always had two mottos in life. You only live once, and you'll sleep when you die. I will say all my Venus and Saggy friends have aged quite well. I got to talking to my friend about it because, I really think it's because y'all have this childlike spirit within you that you just never lose. They can make things almost seem magical at times. I mean, there is this country song by a gentleman named Cody Johnson, and it's called Wild as You. And it reminds me so much of a Venus in Sag. Okay, so I'm going to read you part of the lyrics for this song. You can go listen to it if you want to hear the full song. And if I remember, I'll actually put a link of it in my description. Anyways, the song goes, "There's a part of me that prays that you'll hang up your wings someday. But the part that truly does love you always hopes you never do. 'Cause you belong where your heart can be, out in the open, wild and free. Like a sweet summer rain passing through, ain't never seen anything as wild as you. You belong where the four winds blow, out where the untamed Mustang roam. Like a sweet summer rain passing through, never seen anything wild as you." If I could put a Venus in Sag into words, that's how I would put it. Now, childlike behavior out of a Sag can be quite cute at times. You know, they can really get along with kids well. They will be the ones at the family reunion playing soccer with the kids out in the field or playing games with the kids. They can get excited over little things. All those childlike behaviors. But the shadow side to this placement is that their childlike spirit manifests into irresponsibility as an adult. Now, irresponsibility can manifest in a lot of different ways. Maybe they spend their money impulsively. Maybe they can never strictly discipline their child. Maybe they are always late on their bills. Maybe they don't take emotional things in a relationship as serious as you would like them to. I mean, it can manifest in 1,001 different ways. But it's possible for a Venus in Sag to be irresponsible at least once, some point during their life, at least by other people's standards. A Venus in Sag may not always see their choices as irresponsible. You know, like someone with a lot of Capricorn placements or maybe Saturn aspects to the 6th, they may be disciplined with like their sick days and vacation days at work. Only use them when you need them. May have some left over at the end of the year. You know, they'll save for a rainy day. Well, a Venus in Sag is probably going to be the person that takes off the amount of days that is allowed each month. And if they have time off, they are definitely going to take it. Some signs would see that as irresponsible. The Sag isn't. They're going to be like, I work hard so I can play hard. Now, of course, this is if they work for someone else. If they own their own business, they can dig their heels in and do the work that is needed to make the business succeed. But they have to watch out for burnout with this placement because a Venus in Sag is not going to be able to live a life where it is all work and no play. They don't want to leave this world with $50 million in the bank account with no experiences. Now, my one piece of advice, if you know someone with a Venus in Sagittarius, and this may not always be the case, but if you do know someone with a Venus in Sag and they don't text you back, please don't think anything into this. OMG. A Venus in Sag means well, but half the time they get a text when they're like focused on something else or someone else and they think they will come back to it and then they forget. Or maybe they have mentally replied to you, but they forgot to physically text you. Or if they understand your text or agree with you, they may not just text you back with validation. I mean, they just may mentally do it. And this can be confusing for people, but I promise these natives don't mean anything by it. It's just their astrological energy is just not the best for things like texting. I've known some Venus and Saggies that are kind of hit or miss with texting. Sometimes they can talk your head off, and then other times there's no reply. So just go with the flow with their little Sagittarius ways. These people also can be naturally clumsy and may stumble over things and not mean to. I mean, they're basically a centaur in love. And it's hard being half man, half horse, navigating this world. Most humans have 2 feet, but a centaur has 4. So sometimes you can find that they trip or fall for no reason. They drop things. They can say clumsy things, or sometimes they can say the most embarrassing things or things at the complete wrong moment. But this is why I love my Venus and Saggy friends. Oh my goodness. They can keep the laughs coming when they are in an evolved state. And another thing about their evolved state, they can talk to a lot of different people about a lot of different things if they want to. It can make them quite charming individuals because they are able to connect with others through their passions. Now, a Venus in Sagittarius has a lot of natural energy. They can be amazing creative people when they channel this energy correctly. They can gain knowledge and become wise with this placement. Well, if a Venus in Sag is not channeling this energy correctly, they can stir the pot in their close relationships. Especially if you bore them and nothing is going on. They are the lovers of the zodiac that remind me of Bart Simpson with that stick meme. You know what I'm talking about? If things in the relationship have become stale or maybe routine, these lovers come in with that stick and they kind of poke you and they're like, wake up, do something. If you don't stimulate a Venus in Sagittarius, they've been known to stir the pot to get things stimulated around them. An absolute beautiful thing about someone who has their Venus in Sagittarius is love can really take them places. They aren't necessarily afraid to be in long distance relationships or in a relationship with someone from a different culture or religion. So they can travel to find love. These can be the lovers on 90 Day Fiancé. They can also find love while traveling. I mean, they are the ones that may find their husband while backpacking on a trip through Europe. They may meet their partners in the education field as well, or at a church or a spiritual retreat. These natives can also believe in fate and destiny, so they can understand that they meet everyone for a reason. These natives also can love nature, and they can feel like they recharge either when they travel or spend time in nature. Sagittariuses know deep down there is a spiritual side to life, whatever that may be to them. And they know that we are all connected with Earth. So nature can be a great recharge for them. Also, you may find a Venus in Sag may change the decor in their house up. I mean, they may change out the rugs or move the furniture around. They can decorate with things that they have collected on their travels. Maybe some seashells from a beach that they've been on, or some rocks from hikes that they've taken. Maybe some wine corks from the wine bottles used when drinking with friends. Their home may have pictures of various adventures that they've been on with their close loved ones. Their social media may have pictures of them on various adventures or travels. I mean, they could really connect to others through travel and stories. A Venus in Sagittarius may always have this nagging feeling that deep down, no matter where they are in life, they feel like they're just visiting. This is with physical places and relationships. A Venus in Sagittarius can understand that everything is temporary in this life. We're even here just visiting Earth. So they may never feel like they truly have a home. So remember, if you're dating a Venus in Sagittarius, number one, always be honest with them. They appreciate honesty and they respect you for being honest even when it's hard. They can be quite forgiving if you just tell the truth. So always be honest. And number two, give them space in a relationship. Do not be overbearing. Do not take away their choices. Do not make them feel micromanaged or smothered. They are independent little souls. Number 3, keep things interesting. Plan spontaneous trips or like randomly take them out on a date to try a new restaurant in town. Don't plan a regularly scheduled dinner at 7 p.m. every Saturday at the local Outback for the next 30 years where you order the same exact meal. Yeah, that's probably not going to work for Venus and Sag. They want to explore and try new things. These natives also can be procrastinators. Now, this is not all the time, but the energy is there and can manifest. If a Venus and Sag is not passionate about something and they do not care about it, it's hard for them to care. So they can put off some of the more mundane things in life because life is all about fun. So they can procrastinate when they don't care about something. I mean, really, they just are being authentic. They can't be fake to care about something that they really don't care about. Oh, I almost forgot. My Venus and Sagittarius can love to dance and can be good at dancing. I mean, they know the different dances from the different cultures. So let's look at some celebrities that have their Venus in Sagittarius. Samuel L. Jackson, Nicki Minaj, LL Cool J, C. Thomas Howell, Howie Mandel, and Johnny Carson. So if you have your Venus in Sagittarius, let me know what it's like to have this placement. I absolutely love hearing about any adventures that someone has. I put out astrology videos every Sunday, and right now we are doing a series of Venus through the signs. So don't forget to like this video so Saggies can beat out the Capricorns next week. Now, if you are interested in why your soul came here, then I invite you to watch my videos on Pluto through the houses. They are full of information about what your soul wants to transform in this lifetime. Again, thank you, my beautiful little Sagittariuses, for joining me today during this video. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Mwah!